All right, traders, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Abdurrahman, your trainer today for the busted big shadow trades. On my chart is the euro dollar 4-hour trade. And what we're going to do today is analyze why certain trades, certain trades do not pan off and go into our directions. Now, before we can analyze the big shadow, we must know that the big shadow has certain rules, and several of those rules are what? The big shadow must have a higher high and a lower low than the preceding candle. It must also be the largest candle in the last 5 to 6 candles in terms of its range. And when we say range, we mean from top to bottom, from the open to the close is the entire range of the particular candle. Also, the big shadow should have room to the left. When we speak about room to the left, I'm speaking about, for instance, this particular candle here, which is not a big shadow, or you can use this example here as the big shadow candle on my screen right here, this bullish big shadow here, because what? This is not a bullish big shadow also because of what? When we look at it, it has a higher high, but it does not have a lower low. Now, I just picked this candle, and in the, not even using this one as my analogy, I'll show you the one which I was using. But some people would take this trade here and consider this to be a big shadow, and it's not. It is a pseudo big shadow. Why? Again, because it does not have a lower low. The low on the preceding candle is 1.1323, and the low on this bullish candle here is 1.1328. So it is 5 pips higher than the preceding candle, and that makes it a disqualifier for the big shadow. Again, today's topic is on busted big shadows, and you can understand why. People will use this as an engulfing candle to engulf, and it almost took out, well, to be frankly, it took out took out everything on the block in the last 12 candles, okay, more or less, from the height to the low. It's not including this particular candle here, but the range took out all of those candles, and even the preceding candle which you see here. Now again, this is a disqualifier. So when you're analyzing your trades, guys, one of the things that you want to see is, as you're strolling through the charts and you see what happens here, boom, you see this candle here. Without doing your analysis, most people would jump on that particular candle thinking that that is an engulfing candle. Its range is very high, but you see, again, another disqualifier, or one which makes it not so pleasant, is the fact that it bumps right up to this candle here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles away, it bumps into it. Now, ideally, you would like to have that stretch across in a tremendous distance, or a big distance, and that will show that price hasn't hit that level in quite some time. That's called room to the left. Again, room to the left. So when we see this bullish candle here, as a naked trader, a naked price action trader, we will not enter into this particular trade on the understanding that that's not a big shadow. Okay, that isn't a big shadow. And to be very frank and honest with you, it's a nice looking bend trade, but I myself don't enter in bend trades on small candles that precedes it. That's a whole different subject, but at any rate, had those people gotten into this particular trade, you would have gotten triggered on this candle here. You would have gotten triggered there, and then you would have went for a loss, thinking you were in a big shadow trade. Okay, you would have went for a loss. Your trade would have gotten triggered, and you would have went for a loss and gotten stopped out down here, and the trade continues to fall down. Okay. So be careful how you're analyzing what you consider a big shadow. The criteria was not met on this candle here. It didn't have a lower low. Now that may seem small and significant to some traders, but understanding that if you're trading in a systematic way with rules, your trades must fit your rules or there is no trade. So keep that in mind. And I'll show you one more example, the example that I was actually looking on this particular chart, and I'm in my NT4 platform, and we're moving down on the candles. Now remember on my charts, the blue is always the higher time frame. So I'm in a 4-hour chart here. The blue represents the daily support and resistance lines, and those carry more weight than the red support and resistance. And here you have again an engulfing candle, but not a big shadow. And why is not a big shadow? It has a lower low than the preceding candle, but it doesn't have a higher high. Okay, it doesn't have a higher high. The high on this candle is 1.092829, and then here is 1.0925, 4 pips lower. And again, we see what happens with this particular candle. It continues to go off in a totally different direction. Okay, totally different direction. Closed below my daily support and resistance line, but because it wasn't a big shadow, it did not have a higher high than the previous candle. So therefore we have a busted big. Those who would have traded as a big shadow were considered as a busted big shadow trade. So as you guys are going through your trades, it is important that before you take a trade, that you read your rules and see if those candles are fitting your rules. A lot of times, my mentor clients, you guys will take these so-called big shadow trades, overlooking the fact you're seeing a big candle, but you're not seeing the qualifications of what a big shadow is. And this is the reason why a lot of your trades fail, because in an instant, initially, they aren't big shadow trades. And this is common with new naked price action traders. So I hope you guys understand that. I hope you guys see that in your analysis as to what happens, and then you are able to benefit from it. I'm going to pause 1 second. And as we move quickly, just quickly before I end the video, looking at this particular candle, looking at the room to the left here. Room to the left here has a higher high and a lower low of the preceding candles, and takes out everything, mostly everything on this block, except this little small candle here. Look how it closes down towards the end of the low, and look where it went. Look where it went. So you have your candle here with 140 pip risk involved, runs down to 250 pips. The difference in evaluating what a big shadow is. So with that said, guys, I hope that little lesson right there gives you an example on how to trade the big shadow trade. For more information, you can always take the course if you haven't taken the course on big shadow trades, and I look forward to seeing you guys in another video. You have a magnificent day on purpose.